Is the California Department of Corrections on lockdown due to recent violence?
Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Sorry I haven't been doing much lately. Just been taking some time for myself between work and everything else. Life can be kind of stressful sometimes, so I'll work on getting a little bit more content out. I'll probably do a live tomorrow night or tonight by the time you see this. And yeah, so if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, let me know what you think about all of this. Also, hit that notification bell so that anytime I go live or I drop a new video, you will be informed and you can check it out. And let's get into it, guys. So I was looking at CDCR press releases. CDCR has been wild in like the last couple of days, last week or so. There was a lot of people referred to it as a massive riot with about 40 individuals that happened at New Folsom. This was on an SNY yard. This was not actives. I know a lot of people are just waiting for that end of hostilities agreement to fall apart, but I'm here to tell you that is not the case. This was on an SNY yard. And from what I was able to gather on it, it was GBGs and Hispanics on an SNY yard. Okay, if you don't know what GBGs are, that's gay boy gangsters. Take it for what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I was able to gather on it. I don't have no insight on it, but that's what I heard. So that happened. Then there's been in yesterday there was 3 unalivings in the California Department of Corrections in one day. 3. Okay. Uh, I'll get into that in just a minute, but let me read the statement that CDCR put out in part. I'm not going to read it all, but basically they're putting all the level 4s, what they call high security. I was assuming that's the 180 yards. 180 design is the highest level of security in California aside from restricted housing or the SHU. But I'm not sure based on the list. So let me read this statement to you guys real quick, and then we'll talk about it some more on the other side. So it says CDCR is placing level 4 high security sections within its facilities on modified program in response to surge in violence against staff and incarcerated persons. Lockdowns will include Calipatria State Prison, Centinela, California Correctional Institute, High Desert, Kern Valley, Lancaster, Mule Creek, Pelican Bay State Prison, New Folsom, Corcoran, and Salinas Valley. Most of these places do have 180 yards. I'm not sure if they all do or not. Based on what I know, like Mule Creek is a lower level place, but I'm pretty sure they have EOPs and they definitely have SNYs there. Or maybe not SNYs, maybe that's a 50-50. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I don't think they all have level 4 180s. But, so things have been happening. There was that little riot. I wouldn't call it a massive riot, but a riot nonetheless. The thing about being in a riot in prison, it don't take 300 men for people to get hurt really badly. 6 people actually were transported to outside facilities in this incident. So it just goes to show you, it don't, the whole yard don't need to go off. A couple of group segments can go at each other and people can get hurt badly and even become unalived. So that happened. Then there was an incident in, I believe it was in New Folsom in restricted housing with the whites. Later on that day, there was an incident with the blacks at uh, that was at Lancaster, at I forget what it's called, California State Prison, Los Angeles, I think it's called, or something to that extent. And then later in the evening, I believe it was the Hispanics at Kern Valley. So it's not necessarily one group that's just going, ham out there. And I think that's why they're calling for the lockdowns to try to figure out, they're not calling them lockdowns. They're calling it modified program. Okay, from what I seen, they're restricting calls. They are, um, delivering food to the cells. That sounds like that was when I was in a lockdown in late 2005 in North Kern. That's what a lockdown was. We didn't have tablets and stuff, but it's saying they're restricting access to the tablets as well. They're doing monitored showers. In other words, they do a shower call every couple of days. If you want to get out, you got to cuff up and be walked to the shower. And that, in essence, that's what they're doing right now. So, California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR, can call this whatever they want to call it, but this is a lockdown. It's just as far as I know, there I know somebody that's on a 3 right now, and they're not locked down. This is just the level 4 high security yards that I had mentioned. I don't know if they're doing it more places or not. If you know something, drop a comment down below and let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. But this is excuse me. This is the current state of CDCR. Things are wild. Things have always been wild. Back when I was doing time, I paroled in 06. Okay. That's why when I read that there's a 40-man massive riot, like back then, like we had several hundred men riots, and we'd be locked down for 9 months, a year, sometimes more, like if you're lucky, at about 6 months, they start letting a few people out and see how people, checking the temperature. With this, I don't know. It doesn't say how long these lockdowns, this modified program, as they call it, right, is going to last. But there's a channel I follow called Solid Behind Blue Eyes. I've mentioned this channel on here a couple of times before. The gentleman that's a part of that channel, him and his wife, they do lives, and he's in New Folsom restricted housing. So he's right in the heart of it, and go check that channel out if you haven't already. I really enjoy that channel, and you're hearing it from somebody that's right out there in the in the restricted housing. So apparently somebody was unalived on the cell block that he's on. So he talked about that a little bit in the last one. He really don't know much about what happened, but think about that, guys. You go to jail because you're an addict, right? And the things that addicts do. And I'm not saying that about Solid Behind Blue Eyes. I don't know nothing about his circumstances of why he's in prison, but I'm speaking for myself. I go to prison for being an addict. And you're going to be exposed to a lot of stuff that maybe you haven't been exposed to before. Somebody possibly getting unalived in the next cell or a couple cells over. If you've never been locked up, I can still remember from LA County Jail, somebody was unalived on the road below me when I was on Charlie Road 2900. And I was on the phone with my girl, and I don't know all the circumstances behind it. There was rumors that he was a pedo, and he got what he had coming. But I was on the phone with my wife at the back of the cell, uh, and when they got on this guy, like the sounds that you hear, like you can't unhear him. I didn't see nothing, but I can still hear those sounds, those gasping sounds. And the thing is, if he was somebody that likes to mess with children, then I think those people were doing the Lord's work, as some other YouTubers might say. Uh, but this is the reality of prison, guys. Uh, I if you're new to sobriety, welcome. If no one else has said it, I believe in you. You can do it. It's doable, Like I got clean in August of 2000 and why am I drawing a blank here? August of 2005, August the 9th, 2005. And I haven't used that crystal stuff since. I have to watch what I say with the YouTube because they like to they don't like certain words, but that's what it is. I did it. You can do it. It's just a matter of finding a meeting or something and going and checking it out. Because, you might think that your addiction is harmless or your alcoholism is harmless or the pills that you pop are harmless. But 70% of the population in the California system is dealing with addiction in one way or another. Don't be that next person that ends up in there. And there was one guy in this last recent bit of, people being unalived. I was reading, he went to prison in like 2017 on it was either a 6 or an 8 year bid. And he put some work in. Somebody was no longer alive. And he's got like 2 of them now. So he went from 7 years in prison or whatever it may have been to now he's looking at double life if he's convicted of both of those. Those are the allegations that are being made. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you one way or another. And even if I was there, I wouldn't even be speaking on it, to be honest with you. But, this kind of stuff happens in prison. So, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Like I said, I'll try to get on doing videos a little bit more. I know I've been lagging lately. Just, sometimes you got to take a break for your own well-being, and that's kind of what I've done. So bear with me here. If drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. Is it just the level 4 180s that are locked down, or modified program as they like to call it? Do you know somebody that's in one of these places that's on these lockdowns? I'm going to be looking for Solid Behind Blue Eyes to go live again because he is in restricted housing. So I don't know if he's locked down right now or not. If he has access to the phone, like his lives are good. You should go check them out. Him and his old lady. It's good stuff. And if you have questions about that lifestyle, he'll definitely answer them for you if he feels comfortable answering them. I'll just say that. Okay. So, it's a smaller channel at this point, and I know a lot of people go live and they like to ignore people's questions. He'll answer your questions if he's comfortable with it. So go check that out as well. If you're new here, subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share the video. It really helps the channel to grow. Hit that notification bell so that when I go live, like I will be later on today, you can check it out. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. If you're thinking about coming into sobriety, it's a great time to do it. Anyways, have a good one, guys, and don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.